these off. Right, good evening, everyone. We'll call the Belvedere City Council regular meeting of October 16th, 2023 to order. If the clerk will help me out with a roll call, please.
Albertini?
Here.
Raritan?
Here.
Fleury? Fleury is absent. Frank?
Here.
Freeman? Freeman is absent. Gramkowski?
Here.
McGee?
Here.
Mulhall? Here. Porter? Porter's absent. Snow?
Here.
7 present.
Okay, if you'll stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, we pray to thank you for our country, community, our families, and our freedom. We thank you for our current military service members and for the men and women veterans who have served and sacrificed throughout our country's history. We ask that you bless them and their families. And we thank you, Lord, for our police and fire first responders in our community and throughout our country who bravely serve our city and our nation, and we ask that you bless them. We pray for guidance this evening and that you give each of us compassion, patience, understanding, courage, and wisdom as we conduct our city's business here. We pray for these things in Christ's name. Amen. All right, item 3 under public comment this evening, we have Wendy LaFauche with the Ida Public Library. Wendy, welcome. Thank you for coming here this evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, my name is Wendy LaFauche, and I'm the president of the Friends of the Ida Public Library. We're a separate organization from the library, and that's kind of why I'm coming to talk to you here tonight. We've been in existence since 1985. We are the funding arm. We help with the charitable work of the library, so we're a totally independent portion. We advocate, we fundraise, we reach out to the community, we provide programs, and in general, we serve the library wherever possible. I thought this was a good time to come and talk to you tonight because we've just completed our first book sale in 4 years after the pandemic. Normally, like I said, we'd have 2 a year, spring and fall, and the community just loves it. They turn out in droves. We had over 30 volunteers that worked for 2 weeks to either set up or conduct the book sale. In addition, businesses like Pizza Hut, Culver's, Franklin Wire, I don't want to forget anybody, but about 6 different businesses helped to make this possible. And the VFW donated lunches, and all of these people helped to serve because they believe in the Ida Public Library as we do. So I wanted to tell you what we fund, how we raise our money, and basically what we need from you, and maybe a little straight talk about what we're facing. Some of our fundraisers are the book sales I've just discussed. We carry book carts in the library throughout the year. We'll soon have a giving tree up where patrons can pick an item that they wish to fund and have their name up on the tree saying that they support the library. In addition, we receive funds through our annual membership drive and our mini book sale at the summer reading kickoff. Things that we fund are the summer reading kickoff program, individual quarterly programs, preservation of our library, and other opportunities or emergencies that arrive at the library. Why did I come to talk to you tonight? Is some of the things that we've done in the past as fundraisers are not doing what they used to do. An average book sale for us was $5,000. This one will be under $3,000. Our book carts used to bring in $100 a month. Last month, our book cart brought in $3. The need at the library is great, but we may not make our commitments. And if you folks fall short, there's going to be some real consequences to our community. I've been doing some research for the possibility of writing some grants, and I want to give you some numbers. When you look at it, 41% of the students in Belvedere receive a free lunch. That means they're at 125% or below of the poverty level. 11% of the children in Boone County are below the poverty level. That means between 50 and 80% below the poverty level. We are looking at 1% homeless in Belvedere. So let's talk real numbers. That's 4,689 people at 100% of the poverty level. That's 1,804 people at 50% of the poverty level. So why are the Friends of the Library coming to talk to you? If people can't get access to knowledge for free, how are they going to break that cycle of poverty? If we don't give them the best we have to offer, where is this community going to be in the next generation? I'm going to tell you what Andrew Carnegie told when he was founding libraries. He said, "I choose free libraries as the best agencies for improving the masses of the public because they give nothing for nothing. They give only help to those who help themselves." And there it is. This isn't a free lunch for anybody. We can't force people to come to the library. We can't force them to get knowledge. But if we can't provide the best we have to offer when they come, what happens to all of us? Now, over the next few weeks, you're going to hear about funding different things in your budget. You're also going to hear about funding the library. One of the things I want to remind you about the library is you're a pass-through. They are a separate levy. So when you say, hey, I'm going to support the library to the full extent of what they want, you're not taking away from any other agency. You're not taking anything away from anybody. You're just passing on their request. And again, this is the best gift we can give our community and our future. I passed out pamphlets today that tell about the Friends. My phone number is on the back of that pamphlet, so if you have any questions, I'm the one you're going to reach. We meet the second Wednesday of every month at 6:30 in the library. It's open to the public. Our agendas are published. And if we don't get volunteers willing to do any number of things, we ourselves as an organization will not survive. And that'll be one less funding source for the library and one more pressure on the taxpayers of Belvedere. So we're calling on you for help. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Anybody have any questions? Alderwoman Frank?
Hi, the other Wendy.
Hi, Wendy. I do have a question. I like to come in there and look at the book cart because they're reasonably priced. But I have some great books I would like to donate, but they still say no donations yet.
The thing was, we had over 850 boxes stored for this book sale that just finished. We literally couldn't put another book anywhere. As soon as the Salvation Army takes the remainder of the boxes and we get the donation bins back up, you're going to see it on Facebook. You're going to see it on the library's page. We're going to start taking donations again. So we'll be ready for you.
Okay, because I had some beautiful books and I would like to see them on the cart to be sold. So how do they get to the cart to
What
be
happens
sold?
is we do a sort. And again, this was before my time because we haven't been able to even have a sort since the pandemic. But once a month, they have a sort. The best quality books are put aside for the book cart. And that's what you'll see as we go forward. I know I talked today to one of the ladies. We're talking about doing some theme carts to get us started because we have a numerous amount of Christmas books. So in November, we're going to offer Christmas books. We have an enormous amount of Spanish language books. So we're going to be offering Spanish language books. So that's one of the things we're going to try to do to improve the cart, is sponsor pop-ups, themed carts, in hopes that will bring that along. And of course, the newer books that you're all going to supply, I'm thinking are going to bring that along. But I also think that we need to talk about that people read differently. A lot of people are reading with Kindles now. So over time, we may not see good donations anymore, or less and less. So we're going to have to come up with alternatives as the Friends, and we're looking. We're looking. Does anybody else need anything?
Alderman Albertini.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a question. If I find people willing to donate to the Friends of the Library, is this the address they can mail a check?
You make it to the Friends of the Ida Public Library, and it's the same address as the library. It comes directly to us, and we deposit them.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else?
Anybody else? Okay,
Thank you for your time.
thank you for coming this evening, Wendy. Okay, also under, that's all we have registered, okay. Under public comment, I did want to mention a couple things. The City of Belvedere has if you haven't noticed yet, we have a new website. We had redone our website. And if you haven't looked at it, take a look at it. But I wanted to thank our Belvedere Police Department, Chief Woody, Deputy Chief Wallace. They had put in for a grant, and the city was able to take advantage of part of that grant. Obviously, the intent of the grant was to retain and attract police officers. We all know that the last hiring application process that we did, we had, I think, 3. Is that correct, Deputy Chief Wallace? Yes. And we had 3, and at one time, of course, we had maybe over 100 or around that at one time. So the grant that they had applied for was to how do we market jobs that we have. And of course, with the city website that's attractive, that's part of it. So we were able to get, they were gracious enough to go out and seek the grant. They were successful as well. I think Ms. Hanson worked on that as well. And a small portion of that went to upgrade our city website. So if you haven't seen it, take a look at it. And if you don't like it, tell Sarah. Also, Murphy's out at Walmart, I believe, has opened, and they're working on completing Irene Road as well. And I think that's about all that I wanted to comment on. We'll go ahead and move to item 4, the approval of minutes. We have 4A, approval of minutes of the regular meeting of the Belvedere City Council dated October 2nd, 2023, as presented. If I could have a motion to approve those minutes. Motion by Alderman McGee, second by Alderwoman Mulhall. Any questions, any concerns, any corrections on the minutes that are in front of you this evening? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. And if there's anybody opposed, motion passed. Thank you. And under public hearing, we have none. Under item 6, special messages and proclamations, we have item A. Pam Lopez Fettis with Growth Dimensions is here. Welcome, Pam. Good evening.
Thank you, Mayor. And for you, we have a new dashboard, a little bit more information. This is really for you, so if there's information you'd like us to add on here or to replace, please let us know, or if it's something that you don't see of value. Just kind of give you a little bit idea. We have 565 contacts that we've made with businesses this year. They have resulted in some projects that we've had. We've had 68 new business projects and 60 existing business projects that we've been working with. Many of them are in the construction and completion phase. That's where we added the economic impact, because our enterprise zone, some of these are in the enterprise zone and some of them aren't. So our economic impact numbers include all projects, those that are in and out of the enterprise zone. And also in the enterprise zone, we track projects as they come. So let's say you have a $1.2 billion project. We'll put it in the economic impact numbers, but we won't see it always in the enterprise zone because those will be spread throughout the 3 years of construction. So just kind of give you a little bit of insight of where these numbers come from. Oh, we've had some substantial impact from our social media and our communications resources as well. On the back of the page, I'll just highlight a few of the projects we've been working with. As the mayor indicated, there's been some completions of projects. Aroma Hill Cannabis will be having their schedule for ribbon cutting on November 3rd. We've also been working with the city and Midwest Refrigeration Services for their additional site, and this is with a customer in light food processing and distribution. So we're working with the CDBG grant with Shannon and Brent and trying to get that completed in order to gain a project here in Belvedere. We've also been working with Cherry Valley, and why this project is so important is that this will help us bring maybe some wastewater resources to this region, and that will help all projects in that will be near the Irene Road corridor from Cherry Valley and into Belvedere. So this is a quite substantial project, and it's along the areas of EV or electric vehicles. Other projects that we've been doing, we've been working with a number of others. Some new ones would be the Boone's and Bar Slots, McDonald's, Crazy Cameron's, and Pearl Place. We're also working on our new offices. Growth Dimensions will be relocating their offices to 982 Belvedere Road. That's the Logan Square. Plans are underway. We're going to be beginning construction very soon. We hope to complete that before the end of November. I want to say, too, that we've just been so gracious for the time that we've been here and working very closely with the city of Belvedere. And we wouldn't have been able to offset a lot of our costs without being able to have those resources and sharing some of those resources here. So I want to say thank you to the city of Belvedere. We're also working with Rock Valley Community College on their Next Generation Manufacturing Day. That's going to be held October 30th. At the Advanced Technology Center. This will give students between the ages of 13 and 18 the opportunity to gain interactive experience with manufacturing industry. So we're assisting Rock Valley College in outreach and trying to get participation for businesses. So if you know of any business that you might be interested, please let us know. We're also working with our third annual ACE conference. This is the Accelerating Careers and Entrepreneurs Conference and Expo, and that's going to be on November 7th at the Prairie School of Business, which is in Rockford University. This event provides innovators, creators, aspiring entrepreneurs, and with the resources they need to either start the business or to grow their business. So we're continuing to work on a couple of different projects, but I'm available if there's any questions.
Any questions for Pam? Alderman Albertini?
Thank you, Mayor. I have a question. You say you're moving. Why?
Well, I think that it's kind of time. I think that the city's growing, and sometimes projects require confidentiality, and sometimes the mayor's work requires confidentiality. And it's very difficult sometimes when you have those companies that want to see, basically they want to keep it confidential and they don't want anybody to know that they're working with Growth Dimensions. So that's part of that. It's just, I think we're kind of outgrowing our space as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Mayor.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? Alderman Snow?
So with Stellantis shut down and with all that going on, did a lot of the suppliers wind up finding new avenues for creating merchandise to manufacture and or distribute?
There has been some that have transitioned into other careers or broadened what they're working on. That is true. But then there's been others that have downsized or eliminated completely. We have some that are internationally bound companies, like Magnet International, so they've been working on other projects here in Belvedere. You're welcome.
Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you
good
for your
evening.
time.
Thanks
You
for
too.
coming. Mhm. All right, and item 6B, with the Ida Public Library, we have James Lee. James, good to see you again.
So you may be getting a little bit of a library overload tonight, but I'll be brief. My name is James Lee, and I'm a trustee on the Ida Public Library, chairperson of the nominating committee, chairperson of the Building and Grounds Committee, and just as of 3 minutes ago, the interim president. One of the things I talked to Mindy about, and she usually comes here on a regular basis, and we, her and I, the other people don't know about this, so you get ground level. We thought it might be a good idea if the trustees take turns coming for her spot. And I think we're trying to build bridges here. The mayor and I are building a bridge, and you know, when you just see a name on a piece of paper, that doesn't do a whole lot for you. It doesn't do a whole lot for me. But when I sit down and talk to somebody or they talk to me, it opens up some doors. And I think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to have better understanding and better cooperation. It's nobody's fault for a lot of this stuff. It's, I just think we can make it better, and we're going to try to make some movements in that direction. So the first thing I have, you have this handout, and the handout has the library director's responsibilities, the board's responsibilities, and the Friends. Friends, you've already heard the message on that. I'm just going to focus on the library part. And a lot of people think when you're on the board of something, you have a great deal of power and all this other stuff, but that's not really true in many cases. There are things that kind of hold you in place, so to speak. So I thought it would be a good idea, and I'll run through this kind of quickly. And I know you have it in your hands, but I also, as a teacher, know that many of you probably won't read this, so I'm here to reinforce your learning curve at this particular point. So for the library board, the first on the list is recruit and employ a qualified library director. Maintain an ongoing performance appraisal process for the library director. Maintains an awareness of local, state, and federal laws that impact the library service. Prepare for and participate in all board meetings. Appoint a liaison to the Friends of the Board and become a member of Friends. Then to seek adequate funds to carry out library operations. This has been a little bit of a struggle because, for one thing, if you've been there, it's a very old building. We just celebrate, well, we hadn't been in that building for 140 years, but it's closer to 100. Things kind of fall apart at that point. Approve an annual budget for the library in accordance with local laws. Identify and adopt written policies to govern library operations. Adopt a written bylaws that govern board behaviors and actions. Ensure that the library has a strategic plan with implementation and evaluation components. We've been talking about that. When you talk strategic plan, you don't get a big line wanting to be on that particular committee. So it's kind of pulling teeth to a little bit, but it's extremely important. And if we haven't, I think we can do this. You know more than I do, actually, because I'm the new kid on the block. But if we get volunteers to maybe join us in this process, that might be a great thing. So, okay, we ensure regularly review and discuss community feedback. We always have people are more than happy to tell us how to run the show, and that's fine, and we'll listen to them and follow through with what we can. Promote the mission of the library within the community, advocate for the library within the community and to legislators, and
join state and national library associations, network with other community leaders. I'm a big believer in libraries. One of the reasons I got on this, and I'll do this very quickly, but I had learning issues you wouldn't believe when I was a child, but for some reason I love books, maybe just to look at them and so on and so forth, because I really had trouble reading, and I didn't really become a good reader until I went to college, basically. And then that opened up all kinds of stuff for me. And the library, you know, I worked in Catholic schools, so I have absolutely no money. And the one thing now what we do is when you get your receipt for your book, when you take one out, it tells you how much that book would cost if you were to buy it. So I did a little bit of calculation here, and if you take out one book a month, average cost of $25, that's $300 a year we save the taxpayers. So that can come back to us, don't you think? Okay. And this one is Mindy's report. So we have several repair issues in the building over the past few months. That's an ongoing thing. There's always several repair issues. The AC unit coil was replaced, but defective. Sign of our times. This is the newer of our 6 units, and the company is working on a recall rebate. The sprinkler system needed repair and a flush. We lost about 30 ceiling tiles during the extreme heat and humidity event in August. They warped and fell. Those have been there a long time, so this is going to happen. It's just part of the process. We brought in 4 commercial dehumidifiers to take out the humidity, and insurance is covering the cost of that repair, except for our $100 deductible. 2 of our staff have resigned, the full-time teen services coordinator and the part-time preschool programmer. We are not replacing either position. The director and the admin team will be supervising those departments with part-time clerks hired to run the circulation desk. The circulation desk might seem like a not essential part, but that's the face of the library. So you want people who really greet the people, make them feel comfortable, and make them feel welcome. Not everybody has that skill. It's not just checking out books. It's being the face of the library to those individuals who use our programs. Most of the teen programs, including the Rainbow Club, Virtual Dungeons and Dragons, the M&E Club, I'm not even sure what that is, have been canceled. The director and the youth services manager are working to rebrand our teen services offering and have a teen survey online in the school virtual backpack to give us an idea of what actual teens want. You may, I taught a long time. You may think you know what they want, but you don't. Many of you, I'm sure, have raised children. And raising children today is a harder task than it's ever been in the history of. To go back to the caves, it was a lot easier there because they were there and you knew what they were doing and you were on the same page. They get pages all over the place, and it's really hard to keep up with that. So I think it's important to ask people as a teacher. Not that I said, "What do you want to learn today, kids?" That would be stupid. I had to at least have a program in mind, and then I could work with that and I could make adjustments because you have some kids that. If you can get their interest, you won't have to battle. So as a library, we need to find out what are our needs, and we're here to serve. We're not to tell you what to read. We're here to help you get what you need to function in this society. Much more complicated. I was born in 1946. The 50s were a blast compared to what we're facing now. I'm a teacher and I tend to ramble, so I'm going to get back to task here. So we have that, what the teens want. So far, the majority of responses want movie nights, board game and craft hangouts, and life skills programs. Life skills programs, I wouldn't have thought of that as a 14-year-old. I thought I had all the skills I'm ever going to need for the rest of my life. Was I surprised later? We will work on those for the spring. The library will be open for Home-Time Christmas this year. We'll have caroling and crafts upstairs, Christmas bingo and cocoa and cookies downstairs. We'll stay open until 8 o'clock. Upcoming programs for winter will include Julie's Diamond Art craft. I don't know if you people are familiar with that. My wife has an addiction. She just puts those things together. We have boxes and boxes, so if anyone wants to buy any, call me. I'll sell them to you. I won't tell her, though. Where are we at? Diamond Art. And for youth, a Valentine's cookie decorating session with EK Cakery and several movie showings. So that's pretty much the library report. And now the building and grounds. Ceiling tiles are still warped, likely due to heat and humidity. Mindy has filed an insurance claim and an adjuster will be out soon. I've already talked about that. Most of this is on that. Okay, AC unit, we talked about that. This is going to be on the Building and Grounds is meeting on Wednesday at 7 o'clock in the library. Any of you want to come? And nominating committee's meeting on Tuesday at 7 o'clock in the library. You can come to that too, because we do have an opening on the Building and Grounds. And the mayor's got some candidates also with regard to that. Okay, so there's a finicky fan blower motor. Finicky is that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We can run it in short bursts to keep that side cool. We had open items from our last sprinkler system inspection that are awaiting parts. The dry system needed a new testing valve and complete test. Nelson's finally got the part and ran the test yesterday. We passed, but he was crawling up around in the attic and replacing dry pipe valves. He had to assess a wet valve pipe and discovered it was clogged in lime. The board runs through a inspection of the library annually, and we noticed some wet tiles in a couple of places in the library. So whenever you see that, it's not just a simple thing. And water damage, it's hard to find those spots because they hide really well. Okay, they have come in to run a high-pressure blast through the wet pipes and clear out the lime. Belvedere water is really bad. I think we all know that. It's not. It's fixed. Can I trade in all of my stuff? Well, I've been here since '94, so it was bad in '94, and
Yeah.
I bought all this stuff, but
All right,
I'll go on.
all right. I'm kidding. No, I think
I-
we've got.
I know, you have a smile
I
on
think
your
we
face.
have. I think we have great water, right? And Mr. Anderson might dispute you on that, but I think we do. I
Okay,
think our,
that's
Our
good.
water's been awfully good for a long, long time. But anyhow,
I
continue.
have a couple of filtering systems, and my water in my house is good. I don't know about anybody else, but I've heard these stories.
All right.
Okay, let me run real quick. So, the only other issue will also probably be blast off lots of rust that is holding the pipes together. So, that's not good. That's not good under any circumstances. So we have a lot of situations with that. We run up repair costs, kind of ballpark, and I don't have for the whole thing, but these repairs, we're talking somewhere around $5,000, maybe a little bit more than that. And that's basically it. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions for James?
Okay, well, it's always a pleasure to talk with you, and hopefully the board doesn't know that they're going to be asked to come, and if they don't, I guess I'm the default guy, so I don't mind coming, but, have a wonderful day. God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lee. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming this evening. All right, moving on, we have item 7, approval of expenditures, general and special fund expenditures in the amount of $3,912,511.53. Could I have a motion to approve them? Motion by Alderwoman Mulhall and a second by Alderman Snow. Any discussion, any questions? regarding that motion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Gramkowski,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And then we also have in front of you this evening, water and sewer fund expenditures in the amount of $811,305.90. And if I could have a motion to that effect, please. Motion by Alderman Albertini, second by Alderman McGee. Thank you. Any questions, any comments or concerns regarding that motion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of the motion for water and sewer fund expenditures in the amount of $811,305.90 will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Gramkowski,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And moving on, item 8, committee reports and minutes of city officers. Please note for the record, items A through H have been placed on file at the city clerk's office. And if we flip to the next page, we have item I, minutes of the Committee of the Whole, Building, Planning, Zoning, and Public Works, dated October 9th, 2023. If I could have a motion for their approval, thank you. Motion by Alderwoman Mulhall, and a second by Alderman Fleury, thank you. Any questions, any concerns regarding that motion on the minutes that you have in front of you here this evening? Okay. All those in favor of the motion on the floor, please say aye. Aye. And if there's any opposed? Motion passed, thank you. And under unfinished business, item 9. We have item A, ordinance 646H for second reading this evening, that being an ordinance authorizing the City of Belvedere Fire and Police Commission to adopt new rules, creating a continuous eligibility register for police officer candidates and other pre-hiring rules. Could I have a motion to pass those? Motion by Alderman Snow, second by Alderwoman Gramkowski, thank you. And if there's any questions or comments regarding the ordinance in front of you, now's the time. Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of ordinance 646H will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls a roll, please.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Gramkowski,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall. Aye. Snow,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And item B, ordinance number 647H is in front of you as well for second reading. That being an ordinance authorizing the sale of certain personal property, being specifically a 2002 American LaFrance fire engine. If I could have a motion to that effect, please. Motion by Alderwoman Frank and a second by Alderman Fleury. Thank you. Any questions or comments regarding the sale of that antique? Please fire away. No pun intended, DC. Anybody have any questions? Okay, all those in favor, well, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls a roll, please.
Frank,
Aye.
Gramkowski,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And we have item C, ordinance 640H in front of you for second reading, that being an ordinance amending section 74-215 of the City of Belvedere Municipal Code relating to outdoor burning. If I could have a motion to that effect, please. Motion by Alderman Albertini, thank you. And a second by Alderman Snow, thank you. Any questions, any comments regarding that ordinance in front of you? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of the ordinance will answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Gramkowski,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And we have ordinance moving on to item 10, new business. We have A, ordinance 649H is a first reading, that being an ordinance granting a special use to allow a planned development within the general business district located at 1901 North State Street, that being the Kelly Williamson Company and the mobile gas station on North State. That will be back to you for a second reading in 2 weeks. You will see that again. We have item B, resolution number 2023-24, that being a resolution granting authority to submit the local limits evaluation to the US EPA. And if I could get a motion to that effect, please. Motion by Alderman Albertini and a second. Second by Alderman Snow, thank you. Any questions regarding that? I will say that that is a requirement, that is required, so it's something that we can't choose not to do. I think that makes it pretty easy. But if there are any questions, we'll answer them. Okay, hearing none, we have a motion on the floor to pass resolution 2023-24. All those in favor will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Gramkowski,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And we have motions forwarded from Committee of the Whole, Building, Planning, and Zoning, and Public Works, dated October 9th, 2023. Motions out of Public Works, Chairman Snow.
Thank you, Your Honor. A, motion to approve the proposal from Arc Design Resource in the amount not to exceed $119,700 to complete the design, engineering, and construction services for parking lot number 7 expansion and enhancement project. This work will be paid for from grant funds and capital funds.
Okay, we have that motion out of committee. Is there any questions, any comments regarding the motion on the floor? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
No.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Gramkowski,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
7 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And Chairman Snow.
B, motion to approve the change in plans for the motor fuel tax overlay project in the net amount of $92,574.80. This cost will be paid for from IDOT MFT fund line item 10-5-310-6000.
Okay, we have that motion out of committee. Are there any questions regarding that motion on the floor? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Snow,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
No.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Gramkowski,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
7 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And item C, Chairman Snow.
C, motion to approve the water facility easement and maintenance agreement between the City of Belvedere and Scannell Properties and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement.
Okay, we have that motion out of committee. If there's any questions regarding that, now's the time to ask. Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion on the floor will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Gramkowski,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Okay, thank you for that, Chairman Snow, and that is all we have on the agenda this evening. Could I have a motion to adjourn, please? Motion by Alderwoman Frank and a second by Alderman Albertini. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And anybody opposed? Okay, for the record, we adjourned at 6:46 PM. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.